Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. I am a law student from Australia, and we have got Katie Joy doubling down on the fact that she is a journalist. She's actually done a whole video where she has shown a court document that she has put out a video today with a section of an affidavit which states that her lawyer said that she believes she's a journalist, and so because it's in an affidavit, she says that it must be correct because it's in an affidavit. Now, let me just tell you that affidavits are just, if you read affidavits, particularly affidavits of lawyers, they'll always refer to opinion and belief. It is my opinion and belief. So essentially, they've been told by their client and they take what their client says, because that's what we have to do. So, if she's saying that she's a journalist, that's what she does, well, then, they're going to say, well, it is my belief that she's a journalist. Now, the previous judge on the case did say it was plausible that she could be deemed a journalist. But again, it was untested. And we know from the court documents that we just read recently that they've said that it's not been tested in the court. Now, that was from a judgment. That was from a court decision. That is what we call a source document, okay? Affidavits and court filings are not necessarily source documents. Essentially, that is why when it's written in a judgment, it is essentially, it's essentially taken as gospel if it's in a court order, if it's in a judgment, because often judgments get quoted. What judges say sometimes get quoted into other cases. And so, there might be, in the case of 7M versus Postal, it had said that the court had not yet decided on journalistic privilege. And so, therefore, we would like this to be tested in our matter. So essentially, when they write judgments, you can use the judgments to put an argument through. So Llama Girl has done the work, so we don't actually have to go and watch her YouTube channel. We don't have to do any of that. We just have to watch Llama Girl's page. She's posted. Now, the other thing is that she has done a whole video today on two of her headers, and I don't know what possessed her to do this video, other than the fact that she can show that people are talking about her and she can use the victim card again. And to be honest, I haven't seen the video. That's the only reason I can think as to why she would be doing that. I can't think of any other reason. If you're watching on Replay Crew, if you're watching live, if you've got a theory as to why, please let me know, because I just find it just fascinating that I just find the whole thing fascinating. So, all right. I'm just trying to find my live on my phone and I can't find it. Am I even live? Are people even here? Yeah, people are here. Hello, everyone who's here. It's not true. Judge hasn't made a decision. How do I find Llama Girl's channel? Yes, just saw you alive. Hello. Hello, everyone's starting to come in. Llama Girl's Instagram. Sorry, not on X, or what was Twitter. Hello, Flying Mum. Yeah, she's on. She's what's on. What's known as X. So we're just going to pull this up. Hello, Andrew. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I don't think I got the job. By the way, I don't think I got the job, so I'm going back to school. I'm going to go back to school. So I now have to come to that realization that I've got to go back to school. School officially went back this week. So I've now got to get myself sorted out. So this is girls. KJ, you were deemed not a journalist. You're insane. The judge had said it was plausible. That's what they said. So apparently there is some, I don't know what's going on with Renelle or the other creator, but she's taken a dislike to the
man who's doing these restraining orders has no validity.
Let's have a listen.
Hey friends, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. It's Without a Crystal Ball.
Hey friends. She only does voice now. Hey friends, hey?
And I need to get on this platform because this is my page, and I've noticed that there's recently a current GoFundMe being pushed out into the community with my name on it, and the attachment is for some people that are going to court, and somehow I'm involved in this. And I need to set the record straight because there has been this chaotic situation that has been going on for months now, and my name keeps getting brought into this, but I have absolutely zero involvement in any.
Okay. No, they won part of their discovery. So they put in a motion to compel. They filed a motion to compel. They got all of their requests. Katie Joy also did a motion to compel. She didn't get all of her requests. So you've got to think this video comes as a back of what is happening here. So now she's starting on there's people using my name and they have no right to use my name, and there's these creators, and I can't make it any louder. So this is, I guess, our victim.
Any of what is happening, and whatever these creators are doing and their disputes with this specific woman are between them and the woman, but they are accusing this woman of being my employee, and I don't have any employees. The only person that is employed full-time by Without a Crystal Ball is me, and my husband does the music and graphics. That's it. It's just us.
Did you now listen to this? Did you catch that? Have a listen to that again.
These creators are doing and their disputes with this specific woman are between them and the woman, but they are accusing this woman of being my employee, and I don't have any employees. The only person that is employed full-time by Without a Crystal Ball is me, and my husband does the music and graphics. That's it. It's just us.
So she says the only person Without a Crystal Ball employees full-time is herself. And then she says, my husband does the graphics. And then she says, it's just us. Did you catch that? Let me play that back again. Is it her? I mean, it sounds like she's essentially saying that Toad is employed on a casual basis and does work when she needs to, so it's just the two of them, which means he could be a contractor. Have a listen again.
Absolutely zero involvement in any of what is happening. And whatever these creators are doing and their disputes with this specific woman are between them and the woman, but they are accusing this woman of being my employee, and I don't have any employees. The only person that is employed full-time by Without a Crystal Ball.
Now, did you also hear that she giggled? She went, the only person. Have a listen again.
Keeps getting brought into this, but I have absolutely zero involvement in any of what is happening. And whatever these creators are doing and their disputes with this specific woman are between them and the woman, but they are accusing this woman of being my employee, and I don't have any employees. The only person that is employed full-time by Without a Crystal Ball is me, and my husband does the music and graphics. That's it. It's just us. We don't have assistants. We don't have any Discord servers where we have like people help us with content. I don't have groups on Facebook. I don't.
Didn't she have a Discord? Well, that's what I'm flying, Laura. I'm getting that's what the impression is. Or in Australia, it would be casual or contract. So he's not there all the time. He's there he does what he needs to do. That is my interpretation of what she just said. Now, I'm going to play it back again. Let's have a listen.
That has been going on for months now, and my name keeps getting brought into this, but I have absolutely zero involvement in any of what is happening. And whatever these creators are doing and their disputes with this specific woman are between them and the woman, but they are accusing this woman of being my employee. And I have any employees. The only person that is employed full-time by Without a Crystal Ball is me. And my husband does the music and graphics. That's it. It's just us. We don't have assistants. We don't have any Discord servers where we have like people help us with content. I don't have groups on Facebook. I don't have groups on any platform. I don't have anything private. I don't have any servers anywhere where any of my members are.
So if Todd does the music and the graphics, then how is he paid? I guess is the next question. Is it a per hour basis? Is it is there a lump sum payment? So she's admitted that it is just, because she said them, it's just us. She used the term, it is just us. It is just us.
Followers would be helping me in any way. I don't have any of my followers doing any sort of work for me in that I'm asking them to go after other creators. That
doesn't she often post, my follower sent me this, or my follower sent me this, or my follower sent me this? So she's happy to accept it if they send it to her, but she's trying to convince us that she doesn't actually ask them to do anything. You know, the findings for this, all the platforms she has or previously had, and there are private groups listed like WhatsApp. Is there? Oh, yes, correct. So now this is her doubling down, Possum Wrangler. She's trying to now convince us that she's got nothing, but she's putting it out there in the stratosphere. So she's trying to tell us she's got no employees. Didn't she have a private Reddit group at one point?
We don't have assistants. We don't have any Discord servers where we have like people help us with content. I don't have groups on Facebook. I don't have groups on any platform. I don't have anything private. I don't have any servers anywhere where any of my members or followers would be helping me in any way. I don't have any of my followers doing any sort of work for me in that I'm asking them to go after other creators. That's 100% categorically everything I stand against on this platform. And I don't like to get involved in this kind of content because frankly, it doesn't help my channel. However, over the course of several months, apparently there's been continued escalations of a group of creators between a group of creators and this woman that has led to multiple filings in multiple states for orders of protection over various accusations by this group of creators against this woman that she's my employee and that she's working for me and that she's doing things to them on my behalf.
Now that's interesting. So yes, she had a Reddit private group. Yes, she did have her own Reddit group, and that's right, she got kicked out of the other one. So my only thing about that is, where is this information that she's Katie Joy's employee? Has this woman said she's working on behalf of Katie Joy, or is this something that's been made? So often, oh, you went and checked just now? Cool. Because it's really hard to believe that someone would actually make up stuff and say, I work for somebody, if there wasn't somebody working for them. So there's a lot of stuff I'm not getting.
I don't like to get involved in this kind of content because frankly, it doesn't help my channel. However, over the course of several months, apparently there's been continued escalations of a group of creators between a group of creators and this woman that has led to multiple filings in multiple states for orders of protection over various accusations by this group of creators against this woman that she's my employee and that she's working for me and that she's doing things to them on my behalf. I have not publicly made a comment on this simply because it does nothing good for me to get involved in this because nothing I say to these people will ever make them believe this. I had to actually go to a court. I had to hire an attorney in North Carolina a couple months ago in November because someone within this group filed a false order of protection against me and claimed that I was doing things to them that I was not doing. Their order.
Now, so some think that the woman works for KJ, not in the employment sense that KJ, well, that's what I'm saying. There has to be a part where the woman feels that that person works for her, whether she's doing some research, she might be doing some editing. The part that really interested me, says Postal Mangler, is coming up, the document she reads from. Yes. So let's have a look. So, very interesting. So she still has her private, without a crystal ball, official Reddit.
Contained false information, complete and utter fabrications, and provided no evidence to the court that I had done anything. I had to pay over $3,000 to have an attorney go to court for me because I couldn't go to court in North Carolina and they wouldn't allow me to do it virtually. And my attorney argued in court that I don't live in the state of North Carolina. I do not know this woman. I am a public figure and I have never done anything that she claims.
I have no idea. So she's scrolling through this. So let's have a look again.
Simply because it does nothing good for me to get involved in this because nothing I say to
I might try and make this bigger if I can. See if we can work out this.
These people will ever make them believe this. I had to actually go to a court. I had to hire an attorney in North Carolina.
Have a listen to this. She says, I actually had to go to court and hire a North Carolina.
It does nothing good for me to get involved in this because nothing I say to these people will ever make them believe this. I had to actually go to a court. I had to hire an attorney in North Carolina a couple months ago in November because
she shared a lawyer with the woman she's talking about in the North Carolina case, one per one. Well, I noticed that, and I did see that she posted something about somebody, and she said, the lawyer said such and such, and the lawyer shouldn't be talking about the two cases with each other. Like as far as it goes, is I represent her, bang, and that's all it should be.
It does nothing good for me to get involved in this because nothing I say to these people will ever make them believe this. I had to actually go to a court. I had to hire an attorney in North Carolina a couple months ago in November because someone within this group filed a false order of protection against me and claimed that I was doing things to them that I was not doing. Their order contained false information, complete and utter fabrications, and provided no evidence to the court that I had done anything. I had to pay over $3,000 to have an attorney go to court for me because I couldn't go to court in North Carolina and they wouldn't allow me to do it virtually. And
I wanted to look at that. So there's her lawyer there. Okay. There we go. She's put that there. All right. So there you are. It's just under the
and claimed that I was doing things to them that I was not doing. Their order contained false information, complete and utter fabrications, and provided no evidence to the court that I had done anything. I had to pay.
Yep. So just under that PayPal mark is the person's name who bought the order. It says no contact order for stalking.
Over $3,000 to have an attorney go to court for me because I couldn't go to court in North Carolina and they wouldn't allow me to do it virtually. And my attorney argued in court that I don't live in the state of North Carolina. I do not know this woman. I am a public figure and I have never done anything that she claims. I didn't have to argue the merits of what she said because I wasn't a resident of.
I wanted to have a look at this. The plaintiff for...
And I've never done anything that she claims.
Okay. The plaintiff filed a complaint for no contact for stalking or non-consensual sexual conduct with this court on the 1st November 2023. The defendant, Catherine Paulson, is a citizen and resident of Hanover, Minnesota. The plaintiff alleges she is a victim of unlawful conduct occurring in the state of Minnesota. The plaintiff made no allegation of conduct occurring in North Carolina, nor that the defendant has officially contact with the state of North Carolina. This court lacks personal something. I think it's supposed to be jurisdiction over the defendant.
I didn't have to argue.
Oh, yes, it does. There we go. Personal jurisdiction. So that's what they've said.
It's what she said.
Because she hasn't shown us the other bits there.
Because I wasn't a resident of the state of North Carolina. All we had to argue was that I'm not a resident of North Carolina, and nothing that she has said or...
Hang on a minute. But hasn't she tried to get people who don't live in her state on non-contact orders for stalking? Because you can stalk via the internet, allegedly.
Claimed in this report that she filed had anything to do with the state of North Carolina. She claimed I had done things in Minnesota, which I hadn't done. And the bulk of her order referenced a woman named Starla McIver, claiming that this woman, Starla, was doing things to her on my direction, and that I was forcing or making Starla do this as my employee to take her down and to end her channel, all of which is a fabrication because I don't know Starla McIver and I don't have an employee named Starla McIver. When the judge dismissed the case, we were prepared, if necessary, if she were to come to Minnesota and try to take one out against me, that we would file a claim against her along with a lawsuit for defamation. The judge in the case dismissed the case because they lacked personal jurisdiction over me. If they wouldn't have done it for that, they could have done it under the merits. But we only needed the judge to agree with us on one, and they agreed that they had no jurisdiction over me. The case was dismissed in November, and since then, I have not had any contact with anyone related to this case. After the cases were dismissed, I have not had any contact with this individual. I don't speak to this woman that they claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Minnesota, Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by...
Oh, wait on. This is what... Oh, wait on.
They claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Minnesota, Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which enjoys a qualified privilege against defamation claims. See court order dated February 7th, 2023. She is a busy journalist who is engaged in keeping up to date on multiple stories at any given time, and she keeps clear of her engagements with subjects and sources which can be seen on her multiple online outlets. At no time during my representation of Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have I been aware of anyone working as an employee of Without a Crystal Ball other than Ms. Paulson. Best of my knowledge, and based on my review of her tax returns and business records, she has no employees outside of Ms. Paulson. I've never seen for any...
But that contradicts what she's just said. She said that her husband does work for her. So how's she paying him? If he's doing her graphics and her music, how has she paid him? Now, this is an affidavit, by the way, and this is an affidavit by her lawyer, and this is based on his information and belief.
Anyone other than Ms. Paulson, any of the employee records expected in an employment relationship.
Unless this airs, and it says, at no time during my representation. If this is the lawyer that she got for her North Carolina case, he's only known her for the duration of the case, although she just said he works in Minnesota. Or is this her Minnesota lawyer? Well, show us the context. So I want to know when, who wrote it. I want to know who wrote the affidavit. I want to know the date that it was sworn or affirmed. And I want to know what it was written in relation to, because this is just plucking stuff out of midair.
Just payroll records, pay stubs, employment contracts, employee notices, which are required in Minnesota to be filled out by the employer and signed by the employee in a form similar attached in Exhibit 2. W-2s or any other payments or tax reporting documents typical for employee to be readily available. We provided this to the court in North Carolina.
I know, she just said they provided that to the court in North Carolina. Hang on a minute. I'm confused. I know she said her minister, but she just said, listen to this again. She just said at the end.
Expected in an employment relationship, such as payroll records, pay stubs, employment contracts, employee notices, which are required in Minnesota to be filled out by the employer and signed by the employee in a form similar attached in Exhibit 2. W-2s or any other payments or tax reporting documents typical for employee to be readily available. We provided this to the court in North Carolina. I don't have any employees. I just want to make something.
She just said that was provided to the court in North Carolina. That's what she said. That was provided to the court from North Carolina. Now, remember, order dated the 7th. Is that the 7th of February where it says she's plausible? Let's just see if it's that judgment, because, and it says at memorandum paragraph 4. Just bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to look it up, because we like to do our due diligence here. And I need to know the context. I would actually, I need to know who wrote it, because right. Oh, so it's her Minnesota lawyer who offered their assistance to North Carolina lawyer. Right. But again, she's not said that. Okay, well, let me have a listen. We'll go back again. Sorry.
But we only needed the judge to agree with us on one, and they agreed that they had no jurisdiction over me. The case was dismissed in November, and since then, I have not had any contact with anyone related to this case. After the cases were dismissed, I have not had any contact with this individual. I don't speak to this woman that they claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Minnesota, Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which enjoys a qualified privilege to get.
So her lawyer, hello, Bo.
Any contact with anyone related to this case. After the cases were dismissed, I have not had any contact with this individual. I don't speak to this woman that they claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case,
who
works in Minnesota,
Again, not clear. Not clear at all. Right, so we're looking for the 2nd of February, 2023. The 7th of February. Yeah, it is that one. We have to look at paragraph 4. Actually, you know what? Oh, no, that one's 14 pages. It says at memorandum. Okay, so let me just pull this up for a moment. I'm just going to airdrop this to myself, because she's made it very, very unclear. So So they're saying to look at this order from the 7th at memorandum, page 4. Is it page 4? Paragraph 4.4? Hi, Vedanta. I laugh at this one. No, I just laugh at this line here.
I have not had any contact with this individual. I don't speak to this woman that they claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Minnesota, Ms. Paulson, without a crystal ball, have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which enjoys
by a competent jurisdiction. That again.
Works in Minnesota. Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which
I'm not sure I got the job, Vedandra. I haven't heard, and that always worries me. Okay, open with Chrome. Oh dear. Yeah, I always get a little bit worried. Sorry, I'm back again. Yeah, hello, Berta, and still I haven't seen you for ages. Okay, let me just undo this. All right, we're going to stop screen sharing. Okay, so we need to look at this document because we know okay, sorry, I'm back. I've been dealing with, oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. You've been dealing with lots of medical issues. Now, hopefully this is, okay, so this is the order dated the 7th of February. She has referred us to page 4. Okay, so the plaintiffs are almost public figures. All right, here we go. Furthermore, defendants are plausibly a journalistic outlet which enjoys a qualified privilege against defamation claim. Plausibly. That's a little bit different to be this. All right, can you see that? I just highlighted it for you. I've highlighted it there. Can you see that? I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. It says, furthermore, defendants are plausibly a journalistic outlet which enjoys a qualified privilege against defamation claims. This is, accordingly, the court finds the defendants have a reasonable and substantial defence on merit. They are plausibly. It doesn't say that they are. It says it is plausible. Okay? It is plausible that they could be deemed. All right? So let me read that. In this matter, by their conduct and nature of business, plaintiffs are almost certainly public figures, which requires a heightened showing of actual malice to prove a defamation claim. Furthermore, defendants are plausibly a journalistic outlet, which enjoys qualified privilege against defamation claims. Also remember that this is a different judge. Now, let's have a look just for all plausible. Correct, Possum. Basically, what he's saying, if her argument is found true in the court, then she has a reasonable defense. They never ruled. That's right. They're saying plausible. Yep. All right. Of an argument or statement seeming reasonable or probable. When something is plausible, it's reasonable or believable. Things that are plausible could easily happen. Now, it is in a civil claim, plausibility, you may be able to use plausibility in your argument because it only has to be on probable cause. Okay? But I would still, the fact that we have the other decision that we looked at the other day, where the judge has said, I've read everything. When the judge has said, I have read everything, and it's not been tested that she is a journalist, then it's really bizarre. So this is what, again, her lawyer said.
November. And since then, I have not had any contact with anyone related to this case. After the cases were dismissed, I have not had any contact with this individual. I don't speak to this woman that they claim is the stalker or that is working for me. And my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Minnesota, Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which enjoys a qualified privilege against defamation claims. See court order dated February 23.
We must be looking at different court orders.
Keeping up to date.
We must have looked at different. Oh, thank you, Alberta and Stella. Thank you. We must have read different court orders because I didn't. What we read in that paragraph, we did not see that they were deemed journalistic outlet. We said that it could be probable. They could be. All right, who's engaged in keeping up to date. And she keeps clear records of her engagements. Guess what? According to her Minnesota lawyer, she has got clear records of her engagements with her subjects. So she will be able to hand all of her engagement information over for discovery. She's just by bragging, right, has just thrown her Minnesota lawyer into the dunny, which is the toilet, which is Australian slang for toilet. Because if her lawyer now goes and stands up in court and says she doesn't have her records, we have it here. We have it here in the North Carolina case. 7M needs to get this one. But it says that she keeps clear records of her engagements with subjects and sources, as can be seen on her multiple online outlets. So she'll be able to hand over all of that information as part of her discovery, which she has been ordered in the motion to compel filed by 7M. She'll be able to hand all of that stuff over. Here she is bragging about something, and it may all put her in the dunny.
Working for me, and my attorney, as a part of that case, who works in Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have been deemed by a court of competent jurisdiction to be a journalist outlet, which enjoys a qualified privilege against defamation claims. See court order dated February 7th, 2023. She is a busy journalist who is engaged in keeping up to date on multiple stories at any given time, and she keeps clear of her engagements with subjects and sources which can be seen on her multiple online outlets. At no time during my representation of Ms. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball have I been aware of anyone working as an employee of Without a Crystal Ball other than Ms. Paulson. Best of my knowledge and based on my review of her tax returns and business.
And again, she has to hand over her tax returns and her business records. But she has previously said, her quote was, her only full-time employee is herself, and Todd, her husband, does the music and the graphics, and it's just us. which implies that he does work for her, and he does work for her, and she obviously has to have some type of payment system. Did she not pay him? How did she pay him for her graphics and music? Or is she saying that he is a slave, that she has worked him like a slave and she hasn't paid him? Or has he done it for another type of benefit? So, oh dear. Maybe I'm just going somewhere where I don't really want to go. I don't want to be responsible for whether there was some type of payment under the table or some payment in the bedroom. Which means she could be accused of trafficking.
Business records, she has no employees outside of Ms. Paulson. I've never seen for anyone other than Ms. Paulson any of the employee such as payroll records, pay stubs.
Oh, here it is. I have never seen for anyone other than Ms. Paulson any of the employee records expected in the employment relationship. That does not mean that she hasn't paid cash or they're off the record. He doesn't get a roll in the hay, so what benefit is true, says Stella. Well, if I were him, I'd do anything to keep her busy and away from him. And Possum says, favours for service. Trafficking toads isn't illegal, says Alberta and Stella.
Employment contracts, employee notices, which are required in Minnesota to be filled out by the employer and signed by the employee in a form similar attached in Exhibit 2. W-2s or any other payments or tax reporting documents typical for employee to be readily available. We provide.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that she hasn't paid him cash, or she hasn't said half of the car's yours, or I'm going to buy you a new guitar, or I will do this for you. Which means that it should be going through the business. She said at the very start of this that he does her music and their graphics.
This to the court in North Carolina. I don't have any employees. I just want to make something extremely clear. There is currently a GoFundMe happening, and a group of creators are using my name to promote a GoFundMe.
Now, I don't know anything about the GoFundMe. I don't know anything about the legal action. However, she has taken this thing that the lawyer said, and he's saying that she's a bona fide journalist because her lawyer told the court she was.
Claiming that I'm trying to silence them, and people are donating to them, thinking that this has to do with me, and it doesn't. And their GoFundMe has raised over $2,000. And it says Rabbit and Rennell are being dragged to court by an unstable stalker. They want to continue to be calling out Katie Joy's bad behavior on YouTube. As a community, let's come together and support them. Someone in the comments says she's been getting away with this for far too long, and her fans are bullying creators that criticize her. Anyone who dares criticize her on any platform are silenced or face backlash, and you deserve any support for your efforts. This harassment needs to stop, and they need to be put in their place. What greatly disturbs me about this GoFundMe is that the donations are being obtained through fraudulent purposes.
Oh, now she's actually going to tell everyone to report this GoFundMe. Now, I just don't. Yeah, again, this is dangerous. Just because you don't like, she's as much of a journalist as Michelle Sabate's Black Toe is. Yes. Oh. Sorry, Alberta and Stella.
With the allegation that this unstable stalker, quote unquote, is taking them to court for frivolous reasons. That this woman who's doing these restraining orders has no validity or valid reasons to be taking out orders. And it's also under the assumption that they are completely innocent, which I know nothing about, and that I am the one that is sending an unstable stalker to harass them and try to silence them, all of which is false. The woman that they are talking about, her name is Starla McIver.
I don't know who. I don't know who they're talking about either. But apparently, she says that they shared a lawyer. So,
best of my knowledge, and she does have a permanent restraining order against one person that I'm aware of in the state of Kansas. I believe I was told today by a subscriber that she has court for 2 more restraining orders against 2 other people. The people that she has restraining orders against have been individuals that have harassed me for years. I have no orders of protection or any legal cases against any of these people, and I am not involved in any capacity in what is happening to this woman by these other people. I'm only assuming that if a court in the state of Kansas agreed with her through a trial that this order of protection should be permanent, that she had ample evidence. I wasn't there. I was not involved in the case. I did not testify, and I can't speak.
So yeah. So she's can we mark this? Is somebody write this down? Be ready for new hacking claims. Because something's going to happen, and this woman is now going to get involved in this because she has to hand over documentation for 7M. She's got a motion to compel. I am betting that before court is on the 13th of March or whenever it is, there'll be some issue and there'll be something that somehow she is going to get her involved in this case with this woman, and it's going to be a problem. Flying Mum says, how is it fraudulent? Nowhere does it say. She couldn't seem to understand that a period means and a new. Correct. Even when she was reading what she said, the court document, she was struggling with that too. KJ is this MacGyver person other than that she know. I don't know how she knows all of this information, and that's a worry.
To what she presented. I don't know what she's doing with Rennell and this other woman. I don't know what this order of protection includes. I don't know what the accusations are. Rennell and this woman down the rabbit hole want you to believe that I am the factor of why they have court problems. And I have nothing to do with what.
But how does she know? If this woman is going around and saying that I'm working on behalf of KJ, then somebody's... You know, maybe they have proof. Just because you don't... There are people out there, are whack jobs out there.
What is happening to them? If whatever's happened to them by this woman, Starla, is not true, they will have an opportunity in court to present their side of the story. And if the accounts are without merit, a judge will dismiss the case. I will not be involving myself in any cases related to this group of creators and Starla. This is the only time I will speak on this topic. And it is that Starla McIver is not my employee. Starla McIver and I have no relationship. Starla McIver was at one time a follower of mine, and apparently I blocked her because she made very derogatory comments to me about my child. She apparently became friendly with this group of creators that speak about me on their channels. And at some point, she decided she didn't believe what they were saying about me, I guess, and decided that she wasn't going to help them anymore, apparently. And so now, because she doesn't...
For somebody that doesn't know the person or know anything of what's going on, she seems to know an awful lot. There wouldn't be anywhere for all unless KJ knows the individual. Yes, correct. How does she know all of those details? Is my question for that. Because all she could have said was, I have nothing to do with her. I don't know who she is. I know nothing. The end of it. But the more she's talking, one of the things they teach you is that the more someone talks, the more they give away. The longer she talks, the more she's digging herself a hole.
I agree with them. They all believe I sent her in as a mole to harass them, try to silence them, and to take down their channels. And if they're engaging in any kind of conduct that is deemed harassment to her, such as posting her address or contacting police in her area or filing police reports or trying to SWAT her or, going out of their way to publicly identify this woman who literally is not a public figure that I know of, that would be on them. That has nothing to do with me. because I didn't send Darla anywhere. Darla is and continues to be blocked from all of my platforms. I am not involved in anything to do with her, and she's not my employee. And
that's what, she could have just said that. So, you see, I don't know why her attorney is talking about another client, because she says somebody said, she said something about I did not speak to Charlotte. Also, to be clear, to best of my knowledge, Charlotte is a victim in this situation. These creators are not victims, and of course, Charlotte Great Fear, according to my attorney in North Carolina. Charlotte and I happen to have the same attorney in North Carolina by complete chance, due to the fact this woman lived in a small town, and she was the only one. As part of my case, my attorney proved to the court that we were victims of their harassment. I did not speak to Charlotte, and our case is completely separate. She has a restraining order against a man that is involved in this group. The same man has been harassing me for almost 5 years. Interesting. But it's a pinned comment, I think, on her page. But she says that she's been speaking, she gives the impression that she was speaking to the lawyer. And I have issues with that, because the lawyer shouldn't be speaking about another client. Possum Wrangler says it sounds plausible to me that KJ is involved, and I'm using KJ's definition of plausible there. That's true. Good night, Alberta and Stella. Yeah, see, I don't know how you can, if she's saying it's Sharla or whatever, Scala Sharla, how? So she's saying Sharla is a victim. As a part of the case, my attorney proved to the court we were both victims of their harassment. Who's they? I don't know. I'm confused by this whole thing, to be honest with you. I'm absolutely, oh no. All right, she's got a whole pile of stuff on Instagram too, we'll have a look at.
I am not trying to silence Renelle. I am also not trying to silence Down the Rabbit Hole at Night, or whatever her channel name is. I could care less if they made a million videos about me and said I was the worst person in the world, because frankly, what they have to say about me has nothing to do with me. And as long as these ladies don't harass me and don't interfere in my personal life by filing reports against me, I don't foresee a reason why I would.
As long as they leave me alone. And why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Possum Wrangler. Look at the timing of this. Look at the timing of this video. Look at what's happened in the last week. She's had a judgment. She's had a decision go against her. She's got to She's got to show documents. She's got to hand over documents. She's had her journalism questioned. There's a little case of deja vu here, and can everyone please mark this down in your diaries?
Ever try to silence them. But I will stand up for myself here and say, I am not trying to silence anyone, and I do not have any employees. And anyone that has donated to this under the pretense that I am trying to silence this creator or these creators, you have been defrauded. I don't care what they do. And if they go to court and they're able to get it dismissed because this woman made it all up, good on them. But they will have to do exactly what I did. Pay for their attorney and take care of things in court. They have no problem talking about when I end up in court. This is a part of being on this platform.
And the interesting thing, she said it cost her $3,000 for a lawyer, and yet she's complaining that they've raised $2,000 for a lawyer. Right.
Is that anyone can sue you for anything. Anyone can file anything against you. When you become a public figure, you can have police called on you for any number of reasons, whether it's valid or not. It's a hazard of this job. All I'm saying now, and I'm done with this, is that don't engage in a negativity.
She says she's still got another 2 minutes yet. She says, and I'm done with it, but she's still going to go on for another 2 minutes yet.
With other channels about me. If you are watching me and you're a diehard supporter of me, do not feel like you ever need to defend me. Do not feel like you ever need to tell someone that they're lying about me. Do not ever feel like you need to leave comments on their channels that they're a horrible person. Do not send disparaging comments to them. Do not harass them. Do not bully them. People have a right to say whatever they want on this platform. And I'm a huge proponent of freedom of speech, and I will fight hard for it, which is why in a current lawsuit that I have, I am fighting and I'm not settling because I did not defame anyone. And
she's talked about the lawsuit. So she's not going to settle. KJ says she will not settle. And at what point is that? We're at 55:26. I'm going to just play that back. Here we go. Because apparently it's freedom of, because you can call anyone you like a trafficker.
Bully them.
Apparently, according to her.
People have a right to say whatever they want on this platform. And I'm a huge proponent of freedom of speech, and I will fight hard for it, which is why in a current lawsuit that I have, I am fighting and I'm not settling because I did not defame anyone, and freedom of speech and freedom of the press needs to be upheld. And my rights as a reporter should not be diminished because someone doesn't like what I've reported on them.
Now she's said about her rights as a reporter. But the judge has stated that it's not being tested, and I'm sure the judge is really going to love to see her Cody Brown memes and say, wow, this is great journalistic work.
Sorry if any of you have been misled by these people. And I know some won't believe me, but I've provided what I have, and Starla McIver is not my employee. My attorney has publicly declared that Starla McIver is not my employee, or I don't have any employees. And
my attorney has publicly declared. Your attorney can publicly declare whatever they like. I'd like to see what the judge has to say. Particularly in Australia, as I said, you can file whatever you like in court. The judge will quite often say, I don't agree with what's been said, and will say, I have decided this based on this set of parameters. And then, as I said, it gets referred to in multiple cases. Just because someone said it in an affidavit is really nothing. The only thing the affidavits do is put some concise information as to a set of facts as somebody sees them. Let me describe it like this. We could all watch a car accident occur. We can all watch it. If they were to ask us to all write an affidavit and swear, affirm whatever you do, take an oath to say it was true, I bet your bottom dollar that each affidavit will be different, because we will all have focused on a different set of factors, yet we've all seen the same thing. One of us might be more focused on what the car looks like. Another one might be more focused on the passengers or the driver. Someone may not have seen the impact but had heard the impact, yet you're all there. And that is what the judge has to take, all of those different bits of pieces and information, all the affidavits, and try and work out as factually as they can what has actually happened. Now, when you actually have people testifying, there can be questions asked. Now, in Australia, the judges will quite often ask a question. They will quite often, if they want some clarification of something, we saw it in the Bruce Lumen case where His Honour quite often would ask a question, particularly if he didn't understand, to seek clarity. That is what witnesses do. But everyone can see the same thing. And again, unless her attorney, and if you go back to what he said it was of his belief, reading tax statements, unless he is a taxation lawyer or an accountant, does he have the qualifications to be able to state what her employment or her financial situation is, and whether or not she does employees? Can you see what my point is? I love that you gave that example, Joanne, because it's true. One of the reasons why only having an eyewitness and no physical frequently results in loss in court. Could the attorney get into trouble for saying something like that? But see, usually, flying mum. So for lawyers, they often, and he did talk about, I'd have to go back and I don't want to sit through the rest of the video, but he said it was based on his information and belief. Okay, so that means information that the client has given them and the belief based on what the client has said. Okay, information and belief. In my opinion, the credible being saying that the court had deemed her a credible journalist is more of an issue that I have than is a problem, but it would depend on the court. But it's usually information and belief for most parts. But yeah, I have, so where the lawyer is, and again, I don't know what the lawyer is. She didn't say which lawyer it was. But if they were a taxation lawyer and they said, I've read her employment records, I've read the employment records of Without a Crystal Ball, and I've read the employment records from Without a Crystal Ball, I've gone through their books and everything's fine, I would say, great. But it would be just like me looking after it would be just like me saying, I looked through her books and it all looks good to me. I'm in Australia. I have no idea how the employment system works over there. Yes, then she used the court determination as proof, which was said differently. Again, and you would be hoping that in some ways the judge might be too busy to read the attachments, but sometimes there are some judges that will read every single document that's put in front of them. So, but yes, he could just say he misunderstood the order, which would, I just don't find that doesn't really cut it for me, because how can you misunderstand that? I don't know.
Not trying to silence anyone. And I'm going to ask that Renell and this creator remove my name from their GoFundMe and stop fundraising under false pretenses and stop using my name and likeness to raise money. If you have donated to this fundraiser under false pretenses, please request a refund and get your money, because what this money is for and what you believe you're donating to is not what you're donating to. I went ahead and I...
Correct, Possamanga. If it happened after the last court ruling, then they can't claim ignorance. Correct. So, because it's not been, they could not claim ignorance because the current judge clarified that the matter of her being called a journalist hasn't been heard. Yeah. I mean, that could be, that whole issue could be a whole oral argument in court, whether or not she's a journalist. That would be really fun to watch.
Under false pretenses, please request a refund and get your money back, because what they're telling you this money is for and what you believe you're donating to is not what you're donating to. I went ahead and I reported this fundraiser for fraud, and I...
What? She reported it for fraud?
Reported it for using libelous statements that I have, under an implication, sent an unstable stalker to harass them.
That's not what I don't believe that's what it says.
In the court, and I'm trying to silence them, all of which is false.
I thought they were trying to defend themselves so they could keep reporting on Katie Joy. I thought that was what they wanted.
I will not be brought into a fraudulent GoFundMe in this capacity. Please remove my name and my likeness and take down your GoFundMe. Or if you're going to have a GoFundMe, put up the truth about what's going on and do not use my name, because I have nothing to do with what's happening to you.
Possum Wrangler says, personally, I think KJ's written her own legal doc, or at least a majority of them, and only pays enough to have an attorney sign off. But that's... look, I have wondered that myself, Possum Wrangler. That thought has crossed my mind. If you look at how the documents from 7M are written, as opposed to how KJ's side writes them, there's a big difference. And either KJ's lawyers are newbies or she's written them.
In court. I have never sent any emails to Renelle or to this other woman. I have never sent emails to any of these creators involved that has anything to do with this. I have never had contact with these people. If any of these claims are that I am sending emails or I am creating harassment or sending threats to them, that is false. I have never had contact with Renelle or this other woman that is doing this fundraiser, and I have never sent them any emails in any capacity. All right, you guys, again, be nice to people on this platform. Do not be mean to people. Do not send hate to anyone that.
Please be nice to people and don't, what's she just done?
I've discussed in this video. Do not harass anyone that I've discussed in this video. Do not engage with any of these people. My best recommendation is that if you enjoy this content, don't go searching out for content that's negative about me, and certainly don't feel like you need to.
Don't go searching for content that's negative about me, but they've got to watch the content to find out what's negative or not.
Get involved with these people, because in my experience, in the last 5 years, nothing good comes from it. That's all I have for now. I'll be coming up soon with a new video on Sister Wives, but thank you all for listening. In the comments to answer some questions, but I really don't feel like spending a ton of time even entertaining this anymore.
Anyway, yeah, right, thanks. All right, so this, as I said, this was Llama Girl. This was from Llama Girl. Now, yeah, so someone said they had no idea what the lady's last name was. Now, this was posted underneath that.
He is driving. I am not driving. I am in the passenger seat. We are in the car. So he is going to be taking over he is going to be hired. My husband's going to be doing the marketing and brand and promotions for this channel. So, no, go straight.
Oh, okay.
So you guys, we are going to be setting up a website. And through the website, we will have email addresses and all of that stuff. And we'll have like our merch, and we can post videos there as well. But I also just wanted to let you know, with Todd could be.
So there she said that Jessie, that there's some person called Jessie or Todd could be answering her messages, which totally contradicts what she just said in that video. But that is a video that's alive there. So, wow. Can you make sense of any of that? All right, so now let's go to her Instagram, because I believe that's a doozy. Like how it was nice on, yeah. But apparently he's supposed to be he's supposed to have been a lawyer for a while, Possum Angler. And I thought he was a state lawyer too. So, okay, so this is her Instagram. So this was the post. And this is like getting the troops ready. She's winding up the troops ready to go. She's getting it all ready for when she eventually either gets hacked again, or she has a stalker again, or something happens so she can't front court. Mark my words. Renelle and Robert are being dragged into court by an unstable stalker. They want to continue calling out Katie Joy's bad behaviour on YouTube. As a community, let's come together and support this then. Where does it say that Katie Joy's behind it? Where does it say the stalker is behind it, is associated to Katie Joy? The only thing it says is that they need to go to court. They still want to, but they want to continue calling out KJ's bad behaviour. How is that fraudulent? Oh, seriously? OMG! 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 I am so sorry you're having to deal with this again, still, constantly. Oh, this is out of control. I have no idea, unless it's pure jealousy, why they are doing this. But I hope your lawyers end this. I noticed the GoFundMe picture was changed after your YouTube video. Your video was very well done. Yes, especially so newbies in yes. Although most lawyers, it's interesting because again in Australia, a lot of the lawyers, unless they have experience, won't step over. I mean, a lot of criminal lawyers will do civil law, but they won't touch family law. They generally won't touch, estate stuff, and those lawyers don't touch the other side. So these two are beyond bizarre. I have genuine concerns for them at this point. I hope you like my interpretation of the comments. If you haven't hit like, can you hit like for me, please? The people in her comments blowing up smoke. Yes, possum, they are. Wow. Some people have nothing better to do but hurt others. We've got your back, KJ. Oh, she called it KJ. She won't like that. All right. Now let's have a look at, I'm just going to get rid of this screen with all the comments on it for now because I want to look at her. We're going to just get rid of this now. I'm going to get rid of myself. Bye-bye. All right. Here is her. Oh, yes. So she's got this. Let it go. I hope they did take the image off her GoFundMe. Other than that, the same here. Usually it's a firm with various loans. Correct. Often though, it'll be a multi. It'll be a firm with that covers everything. Let it go. Can't hold. Yeah, that's a bit like childish. And there's somebody, she didn't credit the person, but the person's name's there. So she's shared it. Okay, so what's the next one? Can I go onto it? So this is fraudulent. Okay. Breaking my silence. I am not stalking anyone. Breaking my silence. Do you remember? Isn't that a case of deja vu, deja vu? I am not stalking anyone, nor am I trying to silence any creators. Fraud alert. They did change the image to a baby bunny. My YouTube comments are on. If you can't see them, it's because you're blocked. Oops. It's because I'm blocked. I blocked you. You are spamming people, calling me an abuser and a stalker. I have the right to block anyone that is abusive on my platform. I'm allowed to. It's my channel. Ask me a question if there's any others you'd like here. I'm only addressing this once, and I'm not engaging with these individuals in any capacity at all. How do you have the mental strength to fight back against these people? Here we go. I generally ignore them. I only responded today because of the fraudulent GoFundMe and accusations that I'm taking them to court in Kansas. I'm not taking them to court. I'm not Charlotte McIver's employer, and I don't have any relationship with her. But didn't you say that you shared a lawyer with her? Define relationship. Oh, my little lawyer head spider my lawyer spider senses are tingling. What is their end goal? I have no idea. I have given up trying to understand them. But I know many of them are very gaslit about me and believe things about me that are not true. Gaslit? Gaslit. Gaslit. Gaslit is a show on Amazon Prime. Gaslit. Yes, she has. Do you know what gaslit means? To cause a person, gaslit, to cause a person to doubt their judgment, memory, or sanity through the use of psychological manipulation. Gaslit. It's got to be used with object. Or gaslit definition, lit by gaslight, light that uses gas as a fuel. What does it, if someone is gaslit, so she's saying they are very gaslit, it's making someone seem or feel unstable, irrational, or not credible, making them feel like they are seen or experiencing isn't real, that they're making it up, that no one will believe them. Yeah. Are very gaslit about me. Strange. I am here. I will not leave. Keep up the great job, Katie. That's not a question. I'd be seeing your face. However, if this is your new format, I'll still be watching. I'm making the choice to do my channel as I wish. I am under no obligation to show my face. Given the level of stalking and harassment I have faced, I would think that people would get this, but I will be back on camera soon. I have a big interview coming up with people I know my subs will want to watch. There's a bit of a cat. Hang on a minute. So first of all, someone says, I miss seeing your face, and she attacks them because they want to see her face. Then she's saying that she gets stalked and harassed if she shows her face. But then she's got this really big interview, so then she will show her face. Can all of those be true at the same time? Or not true at the same time? They seem rather contradictory. Big props to you for encouraging your followers not to bash those who bash you. I have nothing negative to say about people that I don't know and don't care to know. I only want my subs to know that I don't endorse or support harassment or bullying of any creators. That's okay to report them. I am under no obligation to show my face. And the people pushing this whole bullying of me about not showing my face are the same creators accusing me of taking them to court in Kansas. I had a massive infection in my eye that required 2 rounds of antibiotics and multiple rounds of topical antibiotics. I was still applying topical antibiotics this week. The scar tissue is improving, but I am not going on camera until I'm ready or need to be. I'll be back in a few days with an interview, but I'm not giving any spoilers as to who I'm interviewing. And now here we go. This MacGyver, I'm going to call her MacGyver, has never been a friend, employer, or anyone that I've had a relationship with. She was blocked by me after she direct messaged me, being belligerent to me. She accused me of CA, lying about my son, and hosts of other atrocious claims. She became involved with people that harassed me, and now they are harassing her, and I'm not helping her in any capacity with any of these cases. She got herself into this situation and can handle it however she wishes, but I will not ever have contact with her due to what she said to me and the horrific statements she made about my child. But didn't she just say that they shared the same lawyer and the lawyer made them both out to be victims? Now they're the ones claiming she's saying, well, yeah, I don't understand. I'm confused now, Flying Mum. I'm absolutely confused by what her point. And Possum says, well, she went on camera the other night. Correct. I block any and all people that come to my messages or page to accuse me of CA and speak derogatory about my child that is not a public figure and a private minor child that has a right to privacy. Well, you're the one that talks about him. His face is not shown online and hasn't since he was 5. He's 11 and he likes it like that. Why did you actually have to tell us how old he was? You've just done the exact opposite of what you want people to do. You've saying that he's got a right to privacy, but you've just told everybody that he's 11. Who cares? There we go. So that's her. That is her. What she's been up to. So she's doubling down about the journalist. But mark my words, we're going to hear about stalking and harassment. We're going to hear about all of that over the next little while. But yes, it's very bizarre. She's doubling down. So I don't know. I don't believe that there is a time frame that they have to have discovery to the other person. But there is something that there's two issues that I think that she's got by showing that lawyer's affidavit. Hi, shall order cook. One, she stated that he has said that a court in a competent jurisdiction has said that she was a journalist. Well, we've had to say that it hasn't been tested. So that statement can't be true. 2, her lawyer has put in an affidavit that according to his knowledge and belief, and he's checked her financial records and her everything, that she's the only employee. And as I said, unless he is a tax lawyer or he's an accountant or he's a financial person, does he really have the credibility to say that? And she's going to have to show all of those records now in discovery. And he also said, don't forget, he also said that she keeps accurate records of her sources and experiences. So that means that she should have no problems handing over what is supposed to be handed over because she keeps such great records. They were her lawyer's words that were in that video. As I said, I'd love to see where that affidavit is. What happened to her squad? I don't know. She'll order cook. Well, in fact, the video we just watched was one where she told us that she is the only full-time employee, although Todd does music and graphics and it's just us, which implies that Todd is actually working for her. But and according to what her lawyer says, there's no official records that he is an employee, and there's no payments to employees. So my question is, how has she paid him? We've had a few suggestions on ways she could pay him, and some we don't really want to know about. But if she's saying it's just them, and it's the two of them, but then her lawyer has stated in an affidavit that she is the only employee. So she's contradicted herself in one video. And then she has stated, you probably have, yes, but if you go to 55 minutes 26, or 5540, between 5526 and 5548, you'll hear her say that she's not going to settle. Wouldn't a forensic accountant be needed to verify the claims KJ, her attorney, made about the taxes? Her attorney doesn't handle tax law, nor does the film. That yes, forensic accountant would be, I would say, a forensic accountant. Yeah. As I said, unless they had, to make a statement like that, like the lawyer has stated, I couldn't possibly, remember it was from information and belief, and I got the information from these documents. But there's no reason, usually in a lot of court cases where there is stuff about payments, they do call in a forensic accountant to go through everything and to make a determination. Now, whether 7M might ask for it to be forensically looked at, it'd be very interesting. But yes, the fact the lawyer's written based on information and belief, meaning based on the information his client gave him and the information that his clients told him, this is what's happened, okay? And they always use that as a get out of jail. It's always sort of like your little, safe. It's like a safe word, because it relies your client being transparent. And if they don't tell you and you don't know, the lawyer isn't even claiming he'd had it reviewed, just that he's based on what he saw, which doesn't hold any weight. Yes. So based on his information and belief, and probably what she told him, that there's this. But if it was, and again, it hasn't been tested in a court of law, so it's not been tested. It's just information and belief. Get a forensic accountant in, or and the forensic accountant is usually employed by a tax law firm, and they do it. So yeah, but based on information and belief is generally your get out of jail free card. Just on another segue, I have posted to my, in my, that Friendly Droid has posted a statement to say he had to take down the video coronation because since his house was firebombed, and there's been all sorts of issues. So make sure that you check out my community tab and watch his video. It's really quite scary that the law seems to be frightened of a certain group of people. Yeah, well, that's right, Possum, based on your information and belief. And that's all you can do, base things on information and belief. Why don't I just pull that up and we watch it, Friendly Daughters, and then on that note, I'll go to bed. No, not bed. I don't even know what time it is. I'll go. It's only 8 o'clock. Feels like I've been up that all long. So for those of you following at home, I don't believe I got the job. Oh, they haven't got back to me, and they should have got back to me. I'm hoping by now, but they haven't. So I've got to go back to school, which I'm really not happy about. But anyway, I feel like, yes, I know short order cook. It was pretty scary, wasn't it? So let's have a look. He did a statement. So I'm just going to play that. When was that one? No, that was a month ago. No, I just saw it. Where was it? That's not the right video. I just don't want that one. Yeah, it's pretty scary, and it just goes to show you how powerful certain people are, and it bothers me. It really bothers me that the wrong type of people are in charge. Alrighty, where are we? Maybe he had to take it down. I don't know, but it was can't see it. Kitty, I'll have to go to my history. I'll go to my history and have a look and see what I can find. But as I said, I was pretty horrified by it all. And then I'll head off. But please make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you want to join and become a member, yes, that would be great. Oh, of course. I can't find it now, can I? Is it not there? Has it disappeared? You take it down. Kitty is second string. Freda the dog is a lead attorney based on my information and belief. Says okay, my latest posts. Did it not get up there? Did it really get taken down? Oh dear. Can't find it. When did you watch it, Short Order Cook? I'm just trying to find it. I'm always looking for new topics. Oh, I'm talking about, it's an Australian guy called Friendly Geordies, and he recently just had his house fire bombed last year because he got too close to uncovering some really seedy stuff, and it featured some ex-politicians, and they weren't very happy. And he did a video, a statement. He made a statement, but I can't find it now. And I thought I shared it before, but obviously I didn't. But yes, it was pretty shocking where he's actually taken down the original video, and he took down the original video that they've tried to get down. Joe, it's still there if you use your own link. Okay, it's funny because I can't even find my own link. Oh, I'm great, aren't I? Oh dear, I'm doing really well here. Oh dear. All right, I need to just find my page. I'll go to my page and then my link. Okay. Yeah. I tried to do it every other way. So it's about, oh dear. Oh. When I what am I doing well? It's his latest posts. All right, well, we'll try that, and I'll start with that and work my way back down. It's still there. Okay, I've got to use my own link. Yeah, but I don't remember my own link. Oh dear. Okay, so where is my community tab? All right, I need to go to. Okay, I'm going to have to do this a different way. Oh no, just talk amongst yourself. Da, 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 da. I don't know. Is it in my community page? I thought I put it in my community page. I thought I put it there. Isn't that where? There's. Oh, look. Don't tell me I found it. And you know, I do have... Yes, I found it. I found it. Sorry. Oh, she was... I'm so silly. Oh, dear. All right, here we go. Hopefully this works. Oh, dear. Statement from Friendly Daughters. Need this to work. Here we go. Have a listen to this. If it ever unfreezes. Yeah. Oh, you do? Yeah. Unfortunately, you won't ever be able... He's taken down the one that's caused the issues. But if you follow him, there's a lot of stuff, particularly to do with Australia, because he's Australian. He talks about lots of political corruption.
You might have noticed that we haven't been releasing videos after the police arrested a suspect for the firebombing of my house. While we're very grateful for their persistence throughout this ordeal, we felt it would be prudent to see what the response would be from certain individuals. Their response has been one of rather perplexing confidence. Buoyed by the lack of further arrests, they have decided to be much more blunt with their requests to assist with the creation of the video coronation. This video detailed links former Deputy Premier John Barilaro had with development company Coronation Property. The video encompassed more than Coronation Property Associates. It included an array of spirited characters, many of whom were enraged with its release. Police have made it very clear that many of the prime suspects in the firebombing are in that video. Now, over a year later, these figures are once again venting, threatening dire consequences if the video isn't taken down. Given these people's colourful history, we don't consider these to be idle threats. Naturally, we contacted the appropriate authorities, but it appears these men have engulfed the state in a state of fear. It appears these men are indeed above the law. It appears these men are free to point the scythe at anyone they wish, blackmail them with the most heinous, violent acts imaginable, and there is not an authority in the land powerful enough or perhaps foolhardy enough to check. We have done our absolute best to keep the video up. Believe me, we have. But if the content of coronation is to fall on willfully deaf ears, if its only tangible result is the death of innocent people, we will not have their lives hang on our conscience. In other words, you win. We're taking down the video. Congratulations, you run this city. We were ignorant of the fact that Sydney is more or less 1920 Chicago, but now that we're fully aware, you are free to run your business without further bother from us. Sorry for the inconvenience. The real shame in all of this, of course, is that it would have made a great story for self-proclaimed home of Australian investigative journalism Four Corners that touts that it exists to serve the public interest. And you, of course. Interesting to hear the editorial rationale for why the paralysing grip that organised crime has over the first state didn't meet that criteria, while trying to get to the bottom of why there isn't more homosexual AFL players did. Questions for another time, perhaps. The question for now, though, is how did these men accumulate so much power that they have incapacitated any of the so-called estates from acting on matters that question its own ascendancy? This is not thugs killing other thugs for territory. This is unlawful punishment for reporting on the erosion of state authority. You would think that that would interest the state for self-preservation purposes, if nothing else. And yet it doesn't. As such, if the policy is to let sleeping dogs lie, so be it. We can live with that. In fact, we have no choice. We've learned that there is a currency that is far more dependable than the dollar, and that's terror. We can take solace in the fact that we did our part, more than we will ever be able to publicly divulge. We ran out onto no man's land without any support. And support never came. Statement from Friendly Geordies.
So there you go. That's his statement. So I'm going to link his channel here for you to have a look. So he's had to take the video down because, as he said, it's obviously going to be dangerous for people. He had his house firebombed because of it. So, I mean, I would really like to say Katie Joy is pretty lucky, really, to get what she's gotten. Because, yeah. So anyway, that's his channel. Go check it out. He's That's a lot, and it is very scary. So yes, he was sued for defamation by the former Premier of New South Wales, John Barilaro, who we call Bruz. So you'll see that there's some videos there called the Bruz videos. So he has done that. I won't be surprised though if he hasn't put that on his Patreon, or it's just taken that down off YouTube, because he's got over 1 million people on YouTube. So that's his channel. Check it out. And I think we've got to applaud him for Australia has been. Oh, it's very sad that you can't get help for that. So we don't know what it means for the guy that's been charged, or how that's going to, or whether there's going to be more charges now. But Friendly Dot is actually he does stand up comedy most of the time, and I think he studied politics at university, so he knows his stuff. So he's broken down quite a few really good, important stories for Australia, and he's got some stuff that's just a little bit of fun and silly. So anyway, I want to thank you all for watching me, for joining me tonight while we look at this journalism. So yeah, we just have to sit and wait. But my fear is there's going to be some type of the Old Boys Network. Yes. I think for me, we're just going to have to sit and watch. But there'll be some type of disaster that's going to happen to her, I think, now, because she's got to hand over all of that information. But by bragging what her lawyer has said in that video may come back to bite her, because, as I said, apparently she keeps notes about all of her engagements with other people. So that means that she should easily be able to hand over the information without revealing her sources. Anyway, if you can do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. That would be really great. There is an opportunity to join the channel, and that's here. If you're interested in becoming a member, just to give further support, it is I think down below. But look, thank you for joining me, and look,